Alright, here we are. Another video from the Reddit series. Let's go into r/AskMen and find out what the fuck's going on. Most recently. You know what? I'm going to answer this one. Guys, what's the reason you're single in your mid-30s? Because I'm 32 and I'm single. Yeah. I was recently in a relationship. What's the reason I was single in my mid-30s? The short answer is that I had a complicated childhood where there was a lot of shame, personal shame, and what I found out to be complex trauma built up from aspects where, you know, I wasn't given what I was meant to be given as a child, and also things happened to me that shouldn't have happened. You know, I wasn't sexually abused, but emotionally and physically I was. Yeah, and it fucking sucks, because then you just have this consistent restraint with emotional bonding, and, you know, people with trauma resonate with other people with trauma. So the relationships I've been in have just, you know, either been difficult to maintain, I've clocked out mentally because it's not what I want. I've found out that their methods of coping are very similar to my methods of coping, or different to my methods of coping. You know, and it just ends up being that you end up in a relationship where you feel more alone than what you were when you were single. And when you become single, you just have this pain in your chest where it's just more being afraid of being single than you are of any sort of bad relationship. And I think I'm talking this one, my most recent relationship, about 6 months, and started off casual. They kept on seeing other people after I asked to be exclusive, and I stayed in the relationship because I thought that I thought that the relationship was special, and I thought that I would be able to get this anywhere else. And you know, they said all the right things, and they made me dream, and well, they didn't make me do anything. I dreamt, and I imposed my thoughts upon the relationship, and they weren't realistic. And at the end of the day, it just came to the point where I had dreams of myself being underwater, struggling for breath, swimming to the top, and just passing out. When I wake up, I'm just you know. And I think that although the relationship, in my opinion, could have been great, you know, I felt that I was suffocating in the relationship, and that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. So over here with r/AskMen by Interesting East 498, guys, what are the reasons you were single in your mid-30s? When you build a legacy, you need the right partner. That's true. Shirt outrageous. I'm 33. I find it a privilege to be single now with all the wisdom I've gained over the past years. Most people who rush into relationships in their 20s barely know who they are, and miss out a lot on living their own truth, which will end up suppressed deep down. I'm slowly taking steps now to get back into dating in a way more wholesome perspective. I kind of resonate with this. I think after the last relationship, which kind of hit me pretty hard, I started to ask myself, why do I want this relationship so bad right now? What was a stark truth for me was that although I wanted part of the person who I was with, I also just wanted a relationship. And just wanting a relationship doesn't mean that you should have or be in a relationship. Just because you want one doesn't mean that you should have one or be in one. And it also asked me, what I was attracted to in the other person. Because I was always wondering to myself, what are they attracted to in me? What can I improve upon in order for them to like me and all that sort of stuff. And at the end of the day, I realized that there was a lot of self issues that I didn't realize or have a proper relationship with myself to begin with, coming from that complex personal trauma. I can resonate with that comment. Next. This name, Zeus the Seductive Eagle, was in them without pause for the last decade or more. Just a few, but all long term. I had my fill and I'm not sure if I want another one. The last girlfriend and I broke up wasn't bad, we still chat sometimes. The juice doesn't seem worth the squeeze. I tried for about a week and it just seemed like a terrible job interview. Lol. That's the other thing, like when you're in relationships, or I feel like when you're looking for a relationship to fill a hole or fill a part of your soul, tend to jump from one to the next without much pause because of what the relationship provides you. And it's not so much of like a physical quality that it provides, it's more just like an emotional hug saying that you're valuable to someone. And your brain, in my experience, my brain has spoken to me in the past and said, if you're valuable to this person, then you're valuable, full stop. And so going from one relationship to the next, you don't necessarily stop and think about what makes a good relationship, because aside from not having good relationship role models, you just do trial and error. And if you get burnt, you get burnt. And hopefully you learn from that. I guess with Zeus the Seductive Eagle, once you break up with one relationship, if you don't take the time to have a think, or if you just go back to the relationship, nothing will have changed. We've got one more question. Aubrey Rivera, 79, says, at 34, I'm content with single life, focusing on personal growth and ambitions that I've sidelined for relationships in the past. Can confirm. My previous partner and I separated amicably, realized we were pursuing different life paths. I've embraced the solitude. It has given me clarity on what truly brings me joy. It's crucial not to rush into a relationship for the sake of being with someone. I'm waiting for a connection that's organic and aligns with my values, not societal expectations. I remember when I was younger, I watched Grease Lightning, and at the end of the clip where like he sails off in the sunset with Olivia Newton-John, I'm just like, I wonder if I'm going to have a relationship. I wonder if I'm going to find a partner. It still kind of is a memorable moment for me, because society in general puts so much weight behind a relationship, and I think the people in general put weight behind a relationship because life is better when the people around you mean something to you and when they bring you joy and all the above. Anyway, moving on. Meanwhile, I'm investing in friendships, my career, and hobbies I'm passionate about. When or if the right person comes along, it'll be because they complement my life, not complete it. Yeah, that's pretty deep. And I think that speaks to a lot of people. I think that there is pressure to be in a relationship as you get older. You think to yourself, fuck, I'm never going to find anyone. Maybe I've missed the boat. And I do feel like that sometimes. I'm 32 and I feel like I should be. Although I have a complicated background, I don't think it should be an excuse for people. I don't think that personal background can be used as an excuse to stop you from finding out who you are, finding out your likes, finding out your interests, finding out what makes you tick. Because then once you find out who you are and what you really like, and when you start getting validation from your internal world, not from the external world, then being single or being in a relationship doesn't really matter. And then being in a relationship just adds to the already solid basis that you have. I have wasted many a year looking for external validation, and that has mainly been in the form of relationships. And my current life trajectory is such that I like to change that aspect of myself. And maybe these videos are a part of that process. Let's type something up and see how it goes. I'm 32 and I've been in a string of long-term relationships. The last one flattened me and made me really think about what I was doing with my life. I put so much personal trauma and emotional baggage out of mind, out of sight, that the partners I chose could never fill the void I had inside me, and as such the relationship always fell apart. I've tried to use this time to look inside me, take time to heal the wounds of the past, and not run away from them, and to change my focus of validation from external to internal, so that although a relationship with the right person would be the cherry and icing on top, it wouldn't be my whole cake as it had been in the past. Mid-30s is not a dead age. I feel pressure to have a relationship and have kids already, etc. But I'm sure I can enjoy my life moving forward regardless of if I have someone beside me right at this moment with whom to share the special moments with. This is a real one. This is a real one. I think this is really giving you a piece of me. And I hope it could inspire you to be real with yourself as well.